To order the Seeing and Doing Teacher's Notes for the autumn term, price £1.10. Pupils' Language Book, price 95p. Pupils' Writing Book, price 95p. Anthologies 1 and 2, price £3.95 each. And the Shape Up software, price £17.75. Please contact your local ITV company. Alternatively, send a cheque or postal order to Schools Publications Office, Thames Television, 149 Tottenham Court Road, London, W1P 9LL.
The seaside has always been everyone's favourite place to go for more than 100 years.
Where do you go for your holiday?
I go to the Isle of Wight.
Why have you been to the Isle of Wight?
I see my grandpa there.
What else is there?
There's a seaside.
Seaside. Where do you go, Kirk?
I go to Leicester.
What do you do in Leicester?
See my grandma.
You see Grandma. What do you do for your holiday?
I go to Scarborough.
Why have you been to Scarborough?
It's the seaside. It's near the seaside.
It's near the seaside. What's Cromer like? What's Cromer got?
A beach.
A beach, yes. How are you going to find out about old Cromer a long time ago?
You can look at on the things that you're going to find out about, and you can ask old people.
Matthew, can you think of anything?
Old photographs.
Old photographs. What's in this book? What's it a book of?
Old-fashioned things.
Yes. What sort of things has it got in it?
Photographs.
Photographs, that's right.
Is that a picture of...
How do you think they took those photographs?
Did they take it by that camera?
They might have done, had a camera like that.
Or did they take it by this one?
Now bring that one down and have a look. That's it. That's the sort of camera I had when I was a little girl. And turn it round so you can all have a look at it. So have a look through and pretend you're taking a photograph.
Holiday snapshots can give lots of clues to what people did and the clothes they wore. Nowadays, people take coach trips to the seaside. But in the past, you would have travelled to Cromer on a coach pulled by horses. A very slow journey all the way from Norwich. Then, when the railways came to Cromer, more people were able to afford to visit the seaside. They came by steam train, the Cromer Express. There were two stations for Cromer, one called the High Station up on the hill and the other near the beach. Today, there's only one station, the beach station. The modern trains are diesel-powered, bringing commuters as well as holidaymakers to Cromer. 100 years on, the trains have changed, but the station is still in the same place. Tracking down the site of the other station, Cromer High, is going to be more difficult. The children study an old photograph of the deserted station before setting out on the trail. They soon find the first clue. Station Road leads them to the second clue. This looks like an old railway bridge, but the top part is missing.
Right, what can you see up there?
Did the tragedies come along there and cross the bridge?
Yeah, come over that way, didn't they? And over the bridge, and then into the station. If you go on down, we'll try and find the station.
A housing estate has been built over the site of the old high station. The trains used to pass over this bridge and into the station platform. All that remains is the station master's house. But there's no station master living there now. A bit further out of town, there's a blocked-in tunnel, yet another clue to the site of the old railway line. What do you think the seaside was like 100 years ago? Did holiday makers then do the same things that we do now? The museum is a good place to discover what was different and what was the same.
All right, now have a look, see what you can see and what you'd like to have a look at.
It's the umbrella to keep your sun off the face.
Yes, that's right, keeps the sun off. And what else wouldn't they want to get the sun on for?
They didn't like to get brown.
They didn't like getting brown, no, they wanted to keep pale. Or what?
They like to keep cool.
They like to keep cool, yes, that's right. Let's have a look. What do you think this is for?
Is it a swimming costume?
Let's have a look and see.
A swimming costume.
You think it is? Would you like to go swimming in that?
No.
Do you think it's for a lady or a gentleman?
A gentleman.
Ooh, would that be tight on you?
No, it's too big.
Too big for you, so it's for someone bigger than you.
It'll be hot as well.
I think it might be, yes.
It might
The
be.
clothes were very different then.
What can you see up there?
The old seaside photographs provide lots to talk about too.
Hats. Well, why have they got hats?
Instead of
They always wore hats in case they got sunstroke.
Yes, instead of having the parasol, they've all got hats.
On the beach, children as well as adults usually wore their normal everyday clothes. Have a close look at these old photographs. Beach entertainments haven't changed much. Punch and Judy's shows are still old favourites.
Here I am. Oh, I play nice girl for boys. Did they say hello, Judy? Give me a wave. Hello, everybody. My name's Judy, and this is my handsome husband, Mr. Punch.
One thing you would have found very different in those days was that men and women were not allowed to bathe on the same stretch of beach. Did you notice the huts at the edge of the sea in the old photographs? These were called bathing machines, where women would change into their swimming costumes before going for a swim. Nowadays, some people use beach huts like these, and everyone swims together in the sea. There's still one bathing machine left at Cromer, but it isn't on the beach. It's on an airfield. And it's used as an airport office. The children come to have a look, comparing it with their old photograph.
Yes, that's right.
on the side. And there's two little
It seems strange to find it here away from the beach.
in the middle.
Imagine it would have been very dark to get changed, actually, wouldn't it, when you think about it? There's one big difference.
Yes, the wheels.
Take the wheels away.
Apart from the missing wheels, this old bathing machine has lasted well over the years. To find out how Cromer has changed, the children talk to some of the older residents. Shrimp Davis was the lifeboat coxswain and has lived in Cromer all his life.
Can you remember the bathing machines?
The bathing machines, yes, love. Bathing machines were wooden huts on wheels because ladies didn't like people to see them undressed when they bathed. So they went in the bathing machine, and then a horse with a young boy riding it was pulled down to the water. Then the lady could get out of the bathing machine into the water without too many men watching them.
When was the pier broke?
Well, the pier was broke really twice. But the worst thing ever happened to it was in '53, when we had a terrible gale of wind from the north and very high tides, and all the pier was smashed up.
What did you used to do on the beach when you was little?
Well, then as my family had the bathing machines and huts and deck chairs on the beach, I had to help there. But when I had a chance to play, I'd done pretty well the same as you might do.
Shrimp also remembers the old fishermen and how he used to go out fishing with them.
There was hardly any engines in the boats. There were lots of rowing and sailing boats then. And they didn't have tractors and carriages to pull them up. We had to pull them up, push them up by hand on rollers, or have a winch at the top and winch them up, you know, by hand.
Fishing has always been important to Cromer, particularly crab fishing. The fishermen are usually members of the lifeboat crew too. They go out to fish at night, returning to shore in the early morning with their catch. Watch how they turn the boat against the waves to bring it close to shore. Nowadays, the boats have engines, and they use a tractor and trailer to pull the boat up the beach. But otherwise, the fishing has changed very little here. There's no harbour at Cromer, and so the boats are kept high up the beach, beyond the high tide level. The fishermen work quickly to unload their catch. It's a good one today. Plenty of crabs and fish. Some will be sent off by train, but most will be sold locally at the town's crab stalls. Cromer is especially famous for its crabs. As well as being a holiday resort, Cromer is very much a working place where fishing families have lived for many years. During the day, the fishermen still have to mend their nets. But have things really changed very much at the seaside? People still come here to enjoy themselves. The transport is different. Their clothes are different. But being at the seaside is still lots of fun.